ourselves that that we have whatever it takes to make it. You can adapt. It's been inside of you all along. Inside my head there lives a dream that I want to see in the sun. Behind my eyes there lives a need that I've been hiding for much too long. 'Cause I've been too afraid to let it show. 'Cause I'm scared of the judgment that may follow. Always putting off my living for tomorrow. It's time to step out on faith. I gotta show my faith.
Hey, Yolanda, you made it.
Freedom is mine today.
Yay!
Time to show my faith.
Hello, everybody. I missed you guys last week.
Look what I have found. I found
Strength, courage, and wisdom.
it's inside of
Hello, Miss Williams. There's my friend Daphne. Hey, Daphne.
strength, courage.
And wisdom. Hope you guys are having an awesome start to the week. Today is Sunday,
It's my jam.
and we're getting started in just a minute. We're going to talk about this anxiety again because it keeps coming up. It is back by popular demand.
That knows
People are trying to figure this thing out.
inside my voice there is soul. And in my soul there is a voice.
But you got to have faith, y'all.
Afraid to make it
Strength, courage, and wisdom. We've got this.
listen. Running too fast to stop.
What you up to, Yolanda?
Time to step out on faith. I gotta show
Zelda, I hope you're staying safe and enjoying your family.
freedom is mine today. Step out on
I miss seeing all of y'all. I see that there are 5 people in here, but I don't see 5 names popping up. So there may be a little delay. Strength, courage, and wisdom.
It's been inside of me.
All along. It's inside of you. And wisdom.
Inside of me.
I'm going to give the people just a few minutes to let them know that we're on. We missed last week, so they may not be looking for it or may not have gotten the notification. But if you would like and share, get some people in here. We're going to talk about anxiety, which is a hot topic these days, as we are all dealing with the, I won't even say the aftermath, because we're still in the middle of a pandemic and dealing with what comes with a pandemic. So get your friends in here so we can have a little chat today. So let it be, so mote it be. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am your friend and coach, Dr. Barbara Swinney, your life and holistic leadership coach, inspiring transformational thinking, living, and leading. After all, the very essence of holistic leadership is what? Self-leadership. You cannot lead others effectively until you're able to lead yourself. And that's going to be very difficult if you don't know yourself. And you cannot know yourself until you can fully be yourself and embrace who that is. Oh my goodness. Grace Scarberry just walked in the room. Welcome, Grace. It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming on. We're going to be talking about anxiety today. We've talked about this topic before. And when I've looked it up or done some research on anxiety, actually when I researched chronic anxiety, it was attached to leadership anxiety. And if you are a leader in any position, in a school position, in any organization, in a family, in a relationship, you know that all kinds of anxiety come with being in those positions. You're trying to make sure not just yourself is okay, but everybody that you lead, you're trying to provide the needs of all of the people who are following you. So certainly it would be inhuman if some anxiety, if you didn't experience some anxiety with that. I got a phone call from my daughter this morning, who will be 21 on Tuesday. I'm super proud of her. She's away at college in Greensboro at North Carolina A&T. And she called and asked, so mommy, she said, so mommy, I will be 21 on Tuesday. How are you feeling about that? And honestly, I had not thought about it on a deep level, or didn't feel like I was thinking about it, until she actually asked the question. And when she asked the question, I said, you know what? I think I'm feeling some type of way about it. And she said, well, why, mommy? Why are you feeling some type of way about it? I said, well, I just thought that by the time my child was 21, I'd be in a different place in my career, in a different place in my business, in a different place in my life. And sometimes, and this is one of the points that I took from our Deeper Leader group, sometimes you have to release how you thought it should look. And I believe that's one of the reasons why we're experiencing so much anxiety and confusion in education and around education these days, because we are in the middle of a pandemic. Things have clearly shifted, but we're still trying to make them look the way that they looked. We have children all over America taking classes online, kindergartners going to school virtually in masses. And I know there have always been, virtual classes and all of that, but this time we're doing it in masses. Systems have converted to virtual learning, but we're still trying to make it look like it did when we were in the building. That will certainly cause anxiety, because we don't reimagine. We try to, I always say, don't live your old life in your new life with a different person. So a part of reducing anxiety is releasing how you thought it should look. When my daughter asked me, how did I feel about her turning 21? And I went on this rant about how I thought my life would be different. She said, but your life was way different. Something traumatic happened in your life. I went through a divorce and all of that happened when I was 18. So clearly it couldn't look like it did then. And, I took a pause and I thought about it for a second. Sometimes we are resisting the change, which causes anxiety. Chaos actually helps to bring clarity. One of the things that we can use one of the tools that we can use to control our anxiety is just accept that it is what it is, and everything is what it needs to be. Because if it were any different, then your life won't get the boost. A lot of this chaos is a catalyst to get us to the next level. The 20 years that I spent in my marriage was the catalyst. I wouldn't be who I am right now. I probably wouldn't be sitting in front of you right now if I didn't go through that 20 years of development. And that is what had to happen in that marriage. I had to have my character developed so that I can be sitting here with you right now today. So we're going to get into our 5 tips. I've already given you probably like 3, because that's just how my mind works. I always overgive. That's what educators do. I'm going to give you 5 tips to controlling your anxiety. Let's talk a little bit about what anxiety comes from. Some of us have a God complex. You guys have heard of a God complex, right? You're super responsible. You think every issue belongs to you. Again, this is typical specifically of educational leaders, but we think we have to solve the world's problems from our position. We have to make sure the children eat. We have to make sure they have a support system. We have to make sure they're emotionally safe and healthy. We take it on. And when they don't have the systems in place, we feel like we have to be the systems. So we have to make sure we're not having a God complex. Anxiety is really an identity issue. It's when you're not recognizing your own limitations and your capacity. One of the things that John Maxwell tells us when we are effective leaders, tells us about effective leaders, is effective leaders don't ask, what is it that I can do? Effective leaders ask, who can I get to help me do this? Suddenly, when you say, who can I get to help me do this? Your anxiety lowers because you just expanded your community. So we have to make sure that as we are running these organizations, these families, or from wherever we're leading, that we make sure we have systems in place to handle the issues that we are attempting to handle. We have to ask ourselves the question, what is it that I think I need that I don't really need? When I called one of my assistants the other day to let them know that there was a problem that we needed to solve, she flat out said, I quit. I can't do this anymore. And I said, you're not going to quit. We're going to figure out who we can get to help us do this. Immediately, the anxiety went down. So we have to understand that even though it feels lonely, it feels like you're not in control, which we really aren't, and I'll get to that later. You have to understand that there is a whole community out here ready and waiting to help. So don't ask yourself or say to yourself, oh my gosh, I can't do this. You have to ask yourself, who can I get to help me do this? And let me get to my script so I don't forget my points. So the number one thing you can do to lower your anxiety is increase your mind and body awareness. Sometimes you don't even know in your mind yet that you're anxious until you can feel it in your body. Hey, my friend Denise, until you feel it in your body. And when you feel that in your body, don't ignore what you're feeling. You have to ask yourself, okay, what is it that I'm feeling? Just like another issue with my daughter, she is, my kids, just like yours, are the source of a lot of my experiences. And I was actually on a trip headed to get her this weekend, and I thought I was going to get a chance to spend the weekend with her, but something happened and I had to turn around and come back. And I was sorely disappointed, and I was snapping at her, but I didn't realize where the disappointment was coming from. I literally pulled over on the side of the road, and I said, what is this feeling that I'm feeling? What's this anxiety that's popping up? What is this uncomfortableness that's popping up? I wanted to assign the feelings so that I can be honest with the feelings and be honest with myself. The truth was, it didn't have anything to do with the money that it was going to cost to get her, even though I made that the issue. It didn't have anything to do with her not telling me that her plans had changed. What it really had to do with was I wanted to be with my daughter. That was point blank, period. And once I admitted that, I was able to do my deep breaths and suck it up and accept that things are different. Except when they're almost 21, they may change their plans and not let you know about them. So I had to make the shift to do something different. So if I was not aware of what was happening in my body, if I ignored that feeling that was happening in my body, I probably would still be experiencing some anxiety because I'll pile it on top of other things that are likely lying at the bottom of that anxiety. Is that my brother Anthony? Hi, Tony. My brother Anthony's in here, guys. So tip number 2, ask yourself the question again, what is it, and I said this before, what is it that I believe I need that I really don't need? And sometimes we tell ourselves. When I was writing my second book, it's actually a journal, a companion journal to the first book, which is It's Always Deeper. The companion journal is Living the Deeper Life. The original title was 30 Tips to Living a Deeper Life. So I was having so much anxiety about finishing the book, and I was talking to my coach, and she said, well, what is the big deal? I said, I've got to finish this book, and I had given myself this date. And I said there were going to be 30 tips. She said, well, when did you want to finish the book? And it was in about 2 weeks. And she said, well, what's holding you up? I said, well, I need 30 tips. She said, how many tips do you have already? I said, I have about 20 tips. She said, why can't it be 20 tips to leading the deeper life? Well, I had put these false expectations on myself. That was me doing that. I had put this false deadline. Y'all didn't know that there was a deadline. Y'all didn't even know that I was writing a book. Y'all didn't know that there were going to be 30 tips. Turns out there are 25 tips because I stopped at 25. So stop putting on undue things on your shoulders and creating this space for anxiety. We are doing these things to ourselves, and it starts all up here in our minds. I was listening to, I think it was Earl Nightingale that I said it. I don't think it's his original quote, but he said, anything about a man that is a man is his mind. Anything else can be found in a horse or a pig. Which means that we are at the top, we're the top of the species as it relates to being in control. So we have to make sure that we are taking control of our thoughts and understanding what's happening. And when we're feeling all of these things, being in touch and in tune with what's going on so that you can control your thinking. You are a sum total of your thoughts, according to As a Man Thinks by James Allen. You are a sum total of your thoughts. However, you get to control your thoughts. And when you're having those negative thoughts and they're sending this negative energy through your body, you have the obligation to yourself and to your sanity and to your peace to stop the thoughts, because you have the power to do that. Stop the thoughts and don't let them control you, but you control the thoughts. So number 1 is increase your mind and body awareness. Know your body. And the best way to get to know your body is spend some time with yourself. Get quiet. Understand what your triggers are and all of that. Get quiet, get still. There are so many distractions around here. There's so many things that we're bombarded with. And you guys know all of the stuff that's happening in education right now. Some educators feel like they don't have a choice but to go back to work, and they're feeling fear and afraid to be in a space and all of that. But if you're going to be in the space, then you have to figure out how to be in the space. And the only way that you can figure out how to be in the space is to get in the space internally. Get in your safe place. Go inside. It's safe in there. The second tip is ask yourself the question, what is it that I'm telling myself that I need that I don't really need? Ask yourself the question. I was under so much pressure trying to get that book done and worried about the 30 tips. Well, I didn't need 30 tips. Stop at 20. Stop at 15. Do 5 and just put them on social media. So it was me causing my own pressure. Don't cause your own pressure. Tip number 3, again, figure out who you can get to help. In leadership, if you're in a leadership position, from whatever position you're in, learn how to delegate, release control. Now, one of the things that I'm figuring out, and I figure out over and over again, I know that this is a challenge, but when you are getting people to help you, when you're delegating, when you are bringing people in to support the goal that you've established, make sure you are clear about what it is that you need them to do. In this season, when there's so much miscommunication, one day you're told to do this and the next day you're told to do something else, you really have to silence the noise that life creates, all of the distractions that are outside of you, and focus on what is it that I need to explain to my team. How can I be clear about what I need them to do and what I need from them, so that everybody's not running everywhere and giving you stuff that you don't want or don't necessarily need because you haven't clearly communicated your needs. So as the leader, you're obligated to clearly communicate your needs. And guess what? You can't clearly communicate your needs with others until you get clear about what it is that you really need. Hello, Miss Briggs. Miss you. So tip number 1, increase mind and body awareness. Tip number 2, ask yourself the question, what is it that I believe I need that I don't really need? Tip number 3, learn the art of delegation or asking for help. Tip number 4, avoid being hyper responsible. I call it super responsible, and earlier I called it the God complex. Stop feeling like everything is your responsibility. I called, my cousin actually called me, and she was concerned about a coworker. Yes, we're concerned about our coworkers. We're concerned about the people around us. And she was at the hospital, and she said, oh my gosh, he's not doing well. And I said, where's his wife? Oh, she's here, his wife is here, and his daughter's here. And I said, well, he has his support system. So you're taking on somebody else's stuff because you're being hyper responsible. When you get a chance, guys, or if you have a sheet of paper there right now, here's what I'd like for you to do. I want you to draw a circle on a sheet of paper. Draw a circle on a sheet of paper. Inside of the circle, write down all of the names of the people that depend on you, whose livelihoods, whose lives depend on you. Those are the people that you're responsible for. Anybody outside of the circle, those are people that you care about, but those are not the people that you need to carry on your shoulders. So we have to make sure we're keeping things in perspective and taking care of the things in the circle and not picking up the burden of all of the things that are outside of the circle. Does that make sense? Okay, what are y'all saying in here? Miss Briggs came in. Cancel that. Monique. Hey, Monique. Hello, everybody that's coming in. Hey, Miss Denise. I saw my friend Denise come in. Miss Zelda. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I think I'm on tip number 4. One more time so y'all don't forget. We're talking about reducing anxiety, okay? Tip number 1 for reducing anxiety, increase mind and body awareness. Tip number 2, ask yourself the question, what is it that I believe I need that I don't really need? Tip number 3, learn the art of delegation. Tip number 4, avoid being hyper responsible. Love the kids, but they're not your kids, and they're not your complete responsibility. A surgeon loves his patients, but he doesn't take them home with them. This morning when I was coming from Walmart, I believe I saw a homeless man on the side of the road, and of course he had the sign, and I did feel drawn to give him money. I even passed him, and I came back and gave him some money. But I didn't put him in my car and bring him home with me to try to help him figure out his life. You can help, you can be concerned, but you don't have to carry other people's problems. Tip number 5. This is contradictory. This is going to be what is it? I'll just say it because I can't. It's 2 things that cancel out each other. I can't remember the word for it now, but fight for peace. I was coaching this lady one time, a young lady, and she was having an issue in her relationship with her husband. And she was just nitpicking, just picking out things that he was doing wrong. And, well, he needs to do this and he needs to do that. And I said, are you fighting for justice when you should be fighting for peace? What is all of the nitpicking doing? Sometimes you have to pick your battles. I did a video for a couple of my friends today saying, I want you to have a Kenny Rogers kind of day. And, what is a Kenny Rogers kind of day? And I started singing that song, you got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. You don't have to fight every fight, guys. You don't have to fight every fight. Fight for peace. Find a win-win. Make it a win-win situation for everybody. The first question you can ask yourself is, hi, Angela. The first question you can, Angelia, I'm sorry. The first question you should ask yourself is, how can I help? What can I do? How can I change this situation? What is my responsibility? What is my part in the situation? Jack Canfield, who's the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, wrote the book, 69 Principles to Success, 69, I think, Success Principles. He came up with the formula that is E plus R equals O. That means event plus response equals outcome. Events are gonna happen. We're in a pandemic. We're getting different instructions every day from the government, from the systems that we work in. We're getting different messages. But here's the thing that doesn't have to change. Your peace does not have to change. Fight for your peace. Schedule it into your day. I recently bought a planner so that I can keep track of all of the stuff that was happening in my coaching business, all of the stuff that was happening at work, all of the stuff that was happening with my daughter. And I literally scheduled in my quiet time. You have to schedule in your quiet time. I schedule in my quiet time. I schedule in my business work time. I schedule in my work day. What's going to happen after work? Schedule your time. Thank you. You helping me, Angela. Okay. Helping me pronounce your name. Thank you. So schedule in your time. My daughter, my 15-year-old, I told you about the 21-year-old, but I also have a 15-year-old who told me she was trying out for softball. And I was thinking, oh yeah, they haven't been to school. This will be a great opportunity for them to see people. Yay, that's so cute. So we went to tryouts, and she came back to the car and she said, Mommy, I made it. And I cheered, yay, you made it. Good job, good job, good job. Then she brought me that schedule. Every day, she has a game every day. I said, oh my God, like this is a thing. I'm gonna have to put this in my schedule. I'm gonna have to change some things around. But it went on the schedule. I was not going to allow it to interrupt my quiet time, the time that I have for me to get to know me. I also decided to fight for my peace when I'm at her softball games. Just be at the softball game. Just be the mama at the softball game. Just be there instead of thinking about all of the other things that you can do. But the planner really helped with that because I had that the need to work on my business satisfied because I'd scheduled it in the morning. It's like putting your exercise on the calendar. It's on the schedule. It got done that morning, so I didn't feel that need or that anxiety that occurs when you feel like you need to be somewhere else. Everybody good? Give me some hearts if you're good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're gonna go back to tip number 1 and review the tips so that you guys can remember these. If you remember the tips, let me see. Somebody put the tips in there for me. Let me see if y'all remember the tips. I'll wait. See, some people get quiet get uncomfortable with quiet time, but we're gonna wait for the tips. This is us being quiet and waiting. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. What are the 5 tips to reduce anxiety? 5 tips to reduce anxiety. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. I think there's a delay. Hey, Devon Denise. Devon said she decided today her schedule starts with them. What do you mean them, Devon? You mean your kids? Work has to, oh, that's good. Work has to be built in. That's good. Hey, Cam Chiplin. Increase your mind and body awareness. That's good, Cam. Increase your mind and body awareness. Anybody else remember the tips? I don't want y'all to walk away. Don't come on here and get the stuff and not remember. I want y'all to use it when you're in your daily lives. This is supposed to be immediately applicable to what you do in your day-to-day life. And we've got to, because this anxiety is not going anywhere. Anxiety is not going anywhere. You'll continue to have to battle it, but guess what? You get to win because you always have the power. So, since y'all are acting like you don't remember the tips, or there's a delay and they're not popping up, I'm going to give you the tips again before we come to a close. Tip number 1, increase mind and body awareness. Tip number 2, ask yourself the question, what is it that I believe I need that I don't really need? Tip number 3, learn the art of delegation or asking for help. Tip number 4, avoid being super responsible, meaning don't take on other people's problems and don't take on more than you can handle. And tip number 5, fight for peace. Put your quiet time in your schedule, guys. It is important that you really get to who you are. And here's what I'm finding. Everything is an identity issue. Everything is a you issue. When you don't understand who you are, you take on things that don't belong to you. And that is an issue. Hello, Deborah. Hello, Deborah Johnson. Care but don't, hold on. There it is. Care but don't take on other people's problems. That is right, Deborah. That is right. So I want y'all to use this stuff. If you like what you've heard today, I want you to share this video with your friends. I also want you to, I'm going to be doing some free coaching calls. If you DM me, the first 5 people that DM me will get a 30-minute free coaching session with me. Now, you don't have all week to do this. You have 24 hours. 24 hours, DM me. I will contact you and give you a 30-minute free coaching session. Also, you can go to B Swinney Inc., B Swinney free gift, and get the free gift. Download my free gift, 21 values of an effective leader. That's precious. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Monique. Oh, Monique put all of the tips in there. Thank you so much, Monique. All right, guys. First 5 people to DM me gets a free 30-minute coaching session with Dr. Barbara Swinney, your life and holistic leadership coach. DM me. You have 24 hours. No, it's a coaching session. It's not a consultation. It's an actual coaching session, Monique. So the first 5 of y'all that direct message me will get a free coaching session with Dr. Barbara Swinney. Also, go to B Swinney Inc. I'm sorry, I keep saying B Swinney Inc. is B Swinney free gift. Download the free gift if you haven't done already. 21 values of an effective leader. All right, we're gonna sign off now. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me. I want you to have an awesome week. Remember, you always have the power. I am Dr. Barbara Swinney, your life and holistic leadership coach, inspiring transformational living, thinking, living, and leading. Guys, I hope you are getting this because I really feel like it's my purpose to help you transform. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you, Denise. Love you. I love all of you. You guys have an awesome sauce kind of week. Bye-bye.